All right, so this is what I've been doing. Um, the lining and the interlining are going to be working together. So I've been separating my pieces. I cut them out, laying one on top of the other. So I've been separating my pieces and the appropriate pieces that go with each pattern piece. I'm working on that. I've done the bodice and now I'm working on the skirt. So I'm going to get the middle skirt laid out and the pieces laid together so I can base them around the perimeter um, and make them one piece because the boning is going to go into both of them at the same time. So that's the part that I'm working on right now. If you hear any music in the background, it is not mine. I have no rights to it. It is a YouTube Christian jazz music. So enjoy it if you can hear it, and if not, I'm sorry. All right, so we got the back pattern piece here. Let me get this out the way. I'm going to separate the two of them this way. I'm trying to give myself some room on the table here. Okay, so I've got all my pieces marked here. This is the center back. That's the lining. This is the center back of the muslin. Again, they're going to act as one piece. Now the seams will be facing the inside of the dress, so you won't be seeing them. This is going to act as one whole lining piece. So you won't be seeing the inner workings of the boning. You won't be seeing the seam allowances or anything like that. So I've got it laid out together, okay? Laid out flat, the interfacing, the lining. How many of you like jazz music? It's so relaxing, especially after a long, challenging day. It's Christian jazz, which makes it even better for me. Okay. So now keep in mind the lining. This is all going to be the lining. The lining also is going to, when I put the lining in and the zipper in the bodice back, the lining is going to enclose the zipper to the actual seam allowance. So that's not going to show either. Okay, so that's one piece. Let's get this other one pinned together. I don't know if y'all remember on the blue dress with my pin, my magnetic pin holder. I still don't like it. I just don't like it. It's a fun tool to have, but it's not very practical from my estimation. So I'd rather go with the old-fashioned pin cushion. Maybe I'll go out and grab me a couple of those because I don't know. It's just easier to work with. I'm kind of old-fashioned that way. All right, so I've got my back pieces put together. And all we have to do is the front, and then we can start sewing these pieces together. The front is going to be fairly easy because it's on a fold, so I don't have to worry about how to put them together. They're going to unfold together automatically. And we did not have any darts in the front. Remember that, right? No darts in the front. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to cut you off until I get these sewn together, and then I will show you that finished product. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I've got the front. You know it's the front because it's got a little snip in it to make a little mini notch in center front. So I know that's my front. I've got that sewn together with the lining and the muslin. But what I realized that I need to do is make sure that I put my darts on the skirt in the right place. And you might say, well, what's the big deal about that? Well, the lining is this side. The lining is the shiny side. You might not be, oh, there you can see it. The lining's the shiny side. The interlining is this dull side, which is the muslin. The lining, this shiny side, is what's going to be seen when you unzip the dress. So I need to make sure that my darts are facing inward instead of outward. So I've got them pinned here on the muslin. That's very, very important in making this dress. So I had to pin them out before I sew. I'm going to have to mark them out actually before I sew them, before I sew the lining and the muslin piece together. So that's what I'm doing here. I want to keep you in the camera so you can kind of, how about if I just move that back a little bit? Oops. Just move that back a little bit maybe. So many pieces. Oh, two. Okay, so pin that back a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. So what I'm going to do, my back piece is, that's the front. This is my back piece. So I've got my dart marked out on my back piece, but I need to transfer that dart to this right here. So that's what we're going to do. I think what I will do first is go ahead and sew these together as one piece, since I know which side needs to be sewn together for the dart. I'm also going to sew the pieces together with the lining up. The lining is going to be up on the bed because I need it to not be so slick when I'm trying to move it through the stitches. The muslin has a little bit more grab than the lining does. So the lining will be facing up while I'm sewing this. I don't think I've shown you what I was doing yet, so I'll go ahead and use this as a demo. And then we'll keep moving on. This takes, again, I think I said on the last video, sometimes things seem mundane and they take, it's like, oh man, do I really have to do that part? And, they can be kind of frustrating, but I have learned through trial and error, it's best not to take the shortcut. So, here we go. And I am basting. Oh, I didn't have that on my basting stitch, but I'm basting. I'm basting on a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Oh my gosh. Okay, and a tip I heard You want to start at the top. Start at the top. So if you finish at the bottom and your hemline might be off just a touch, it won't matter much. You can make that adjustment. Okay. Start at the top, but in this case I cannot. I must start at the bottom here so I can keep my muslin on the bottom. Okay. Remember when you're going around a curve, take your time. It's just like when you're driving around a curve. My dad taught me when you're driving around a curve to make sure you keep your eye on the curve because the car will go wherever you're looking. Never forgot that. So keep your eye on the curve when you are sewing so you can make sure you've got a good curve there. All right, so we've got that one. I'm going to do a quick stitch across the top here. Just a really quick stitch here. It's not going to be long. Hold it together. My dart will be kind of in the middle of that. Whoa. So I'm kind of stuck here. There we go. Okay, so let me show you how I'm going to do this dart. This is the lining, so the dart is going to be on the muslin side. Here's my pattern. Just happen to be the same one. Okay, so I've got it marked here. And I'm going to notch the dart legs. And I'm going to mark out the vanishing point of the dart. There's my pin right there. So I'm just going to mark it right here. On that side and on this side. Okay, that's going to disappear, so that's not a problem. And then I'm going to take my ruler. Let me see. I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to draw in my dart leg. Okay. Pin. See? That's that side. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side of the dart leg. These are friction pins. Friction. I don't know if you can see that. Friction pins. Can you see that? If you don't have any, get some because they come in real handy when you have to mark on your fabric and mark a dart or a notch or what have you. And then when you put some steam on it from your iron, it all disappears. So it's great on white fabric. All right, so now I'm going to pin my dart together. And I've showed you this before, where you start on one side. There's my blue line. So I'm starting on one side, and I'm pinning it through to make sure it comes out. Can you see that where the pin is? That it comes out on the same line on the other side. That's how you can make sure that everything is lined up. So I'm going to do that again. I'll do it at the top where the dart leg starts on this side, right here. Okay, I actually sew on the right side, so let me turn this over because I'm so right-handed. But so I'm going to pin on this side, right here. I'm going to check it on this side. See how it's not in there where it should be? I'm going to adjust that because I need that to be even. So now I'm on this side again. I'm in line with my marking, and I am having to adjust it. Okay. So I'm in line on this side. I'm in line on this side. There's my pin. So I'm just gonna make and just pin it down just like that. This one's gonna have to come out because I need to put it on the other side. I am so right-handed, it's not even funny. And then on my dart, my sewing machine, I have to sew it on this side because you sew from the top down. Okay. So there we go. I'm just gonna pin this out. Make sure I pin it on the right side. If not, just make the adjustment. It's really no big deal, but you need it to be even. So be willing to make some adjustments if that's what you need to do. All right, so here we go. Okay, we're going to take that off of the base because I need this to stay in. And then you just follow your dart line all the way down. I think I showed you guys this before about you have a line on your presser foot that tells you if you are sewing in a straight line or not. Okay, there we are. So there's the dart. It's still marked on both sides. And I'm going to my iron, and I'm going to, I would take you in there, but my ironing space is it's so lived in, and it's embarrassing. But I'm going to go ahead and do this on this piece. I'm going to go ahead and sew around and mark my other back piece, and then I will be right back after I've ironed them out. Okay, so this is where we're at. We've got the bodice with the underlining. Okay, the bodice with the underlining. We've got the circle skirt here. This is the pattern we were working off of, and we've got the lining and the interlining. So all of our pieces are here. All of our pieces are here. Now it's just a matter of putting the puzzle together. All of our pieces are here. It's just a matter of putting the puzzle pieces together. So tomorrow On the next video, we'll be boning these pieces here that are lining and interlining, and putting boning in there, flipping it inside out, attaching it to, of course, we're not done here. We still need to add the lace and place the lining piece face side down. So it'll be like this at the sweetheart neckline. And then when we sew it, we'll flip it. Actually, it'll be this side. So I want the muslin side up. So when we sew it at the neckline and flip it, the lining will be showing on the inside and not the muslin. So that's what we're working on. We're going to be adding the boning to these pieces here, the lining and the interlining. We're going to have to recut a piece of the circular skirt. And then once we get the lace attached here, we can add the rest of the shell to the middle skirt and start sewing everything, attaching everything as a completed dress, which means zippers, it means hooks and eyes, it means seam tape, it means a hem on the circular skirt. Still have quite a few things to do, but it's getting there, and it's closer to finished than it was before. So we are making progress. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt like you weren't making